Okay, we're gonna make this fly. So this is like putting it on a streamer, but it's really a wet fly, but it'll work what we're doing. Puppy's going crazy because there's activity around here today. What we're gonna do, and I'm gonna weight this. And hopefully it comes out like I want it. I have to cut it a little bit. We're gonna make something. I got some old copper, old cable wire, more cables and stuff, like old coax that was laying around here. It was no good. It went bad also. From when I used to do it, some of the wires would go bad and they don't hold signals no more, even though it's still got copper in it. And now it's going to lend itself. Now it's going to lend itself to being a weight. So we're going to make weight out of it. So for this to sink a little bit better, we're going to make weight out of these. Or try to. We're going to put this in there. 2 pieces of this in there. Not exactly the way most copper is done, but we're going to see if we can do it. So now this is going to be your weight. It's going to be copper. Just these 2 little pieces of copper wire. We're going to use it as the center of the body of this thing. And hopefully it works. I'm thinking I should only do 1 piece, but I'm going to try 2 just to see how it comes out. This thread's snapping because it's end of that copper's kind of sharp, actually. I didn't really trim it and smash it down like I should have, which is fine. But I just wanted to see what it would come out to look like. Experimenting with stuff. Experimenting with this real quick. Hopefully I'll be able to wrap over it. We're going to find out if we can or if we can't. Here, we'll use the kitty scissors on it. I'm going to see if we'll be able to wrap what I'm thinking over it. I could use chenille over it. It just depends. But I want to try to do it this other way because I just like the color of this one thing. So let's see if it'll work. We're going to see if it's going to work or not. But we're going to use 2 pieces of copper on the top. Might have to put something to fill as filler there to make it even. Matter of fact, I have something. I can get these done. I'm gonna have to cut these. So these are gonna be for later, but I'm gonna cut them now. Let's see. So there's those. Let's see if we can do this. Let's put them in this clip because I don't have a real clip, but I need to try to hold those for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wrap some of this in there. So this makes any sense. So it has an even gradient, I guess. Does that make sense? Sort of. So yeah, there's the tail. So I'm trying to build that up so that it's even. To it, basically. Hopefully. I'm gonna put the copper wire in here too. I'm hoping it comes out right. It's gonna be difficult to wrap this because that has to be tapered evenly right here. And I still have some stuff to tie in there. We don't cross our fingers. Then we're gonna add one more piece of material in there. So there's a lot going on at the tail end of this. Looks pretty even. So I was doing this because I don't want it to slip. So I'm trying to make it so it won't so it has like a taper at the tail, but it won't slip. That's what I'm trying to do. So this is like so it won't slip when I get ready to start wrapping this thing. And hopefully I have enough of this to wrap the whole thing. But I'm gonna have to do the same thing on this end. A little bit. And so I'm not sure how it's gonna. We're gonna see. I'm gonna try to get it to work for us here. This is like a really simple fly, but I'm making it a little more complicated than it needs to be. Because I'm trying to. There. So trying to. Yeah, it's sharp right there. That copper is really sharp. And it's hard to see. I should have smashed it with the pliers when I cut it, but I did not. So that's why it's broken. This time it's not the thread just being weird. It's actually it's really sharp. The those copper ends because I just cut them, and so they're. And I'm trying to wrap that down right there, and it's trying to act up on me. I have to refill this bottle. Some thinner on this. I might even have to put super glue on this one. Hopefully this stuff is still good. Is there any left? Let's see if there's any in here. Nope, might have dried up on me. Yep, it did. Time to get more super glue. That's okay. It takes a while for that to happen. And then so this is just a simple fly, and this fly is so simple. It's a old Washington special, like that we've used a lot up here. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people. It's a good one to carry around because it's kind of to me, it's like an attractor type of. It's a wet fly, but to me, it's kind of like a attractor, and it looks like a bunch of different stuff, and it has a cool look to it, and trout like it, and fish like it, and it looks like something that would be in the water. I like a lot of those type of patterns because you can just kind of, even if you don't, if you can't figure out what they're eating, it catches something. It still will catch something. It looks like something, just looks like something good for the fish to want to eat. All right, so we did that. Let's try. All right, here we go. We're gonna try this out here. And I just got done making my that little spinner thing I made. That was kind of fun. See that use my little gizmo. We're gonna end up trying it out on this thing just because. And we're gonna try it out on this. And we're just gonna go around like this. And now I have a brush too for this stuff. I can brush the stuff up now, like it's supposed to be done. But everything, I just decided to start making makeshift tools. I was like, I'll just make these makeshift tools. I was like, some of them little dubbing spinners are kind of, I'm like, that's kind of spendy. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess it's manufactured and it's nice. And like this. So I can brush this up and make it look nice. All right, here we go. Let's see here. So this, evolution of the channel, right? See, this is what I was trying to not do here. Right there. There we go. There we go. So that's what I was trying to do. So there's that little bump there. I knew it was going to be a little bit of a challenge to get that. Just do it on the wrap right there. I knew that was going to be a little challenge as I got to the front of this and trying not to break the peacock curl. I knew that was going to be a little bit of a problem for what we're doing here. That's where it stopped at, right? Okay, we're gonna have to do one more. Underneath. It's a ghost. There. There we go. Yeah, I knew this was gonna be a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, I knew this was gonna be a challenge, and I'm trying to keep it from coming loose this part. So, see, when I try to wrap it, it's already trying to. I'll just wait and see. We'll come it this way. We'll wrap this one with it, I guess. We're gonna do this again with the Flashaboo for some translucent, and I'm gonna try to be really gentle with this one because last time it broke on us. So we're gonna try to be gentle with this little mini variation of this pattern. Don't know how this is gonna come out, like if it's gonna come out looking pretty or not, but we're gonna try. And we're gonna do, so we went this way, now we're gonna go the opposite way with this wire. And we're gonna try to secure it with the copper the opposite direction and not ruin and try not to ruin it, what we've done here. Looking good so far. We got gold wire actually, so it's not copper, it's gold. Trying to get as even as I can. Hopefully it'll hold down and we'll get a cool looking thing we're about to make here. It won't be so holding it down so tight that it snaps the. I don't know if you can see it. Guess we'll just have to keep at it. And hopefully you can see some of it. It's this sometimes it just, these things just do not cooperate. I was talking about that before. I was like, man, those cameras, man, sometimes it just does not want to. This is the part I was trying to deal with before. I was trying to get this Trying to make a small head on this as I can, but I don't think that's gonna work. We're gonna see. I'm gonna start right there. We're gonna have to pull off more of this too. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be able to do 3 reps. Let me check it out here real quick. The length. So this is gonna be a fun pattern, I think. So this is the hard part. It's gonna be kind of hard to do, and I'm struggling with it right now. You can't see it; it's off frame, but I'm really struggling with this right now. This one part. I'm trying to get these to line up like I want them to, and I'm struggling with them. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. We're gonna try it when I get ready. Here we go. So now we're gonna take this. So we're gonna use our spinner on this one. Skill I've used before, but I have not tried this in a minute. I haven't tried it on this before, so we're gonna try it. We'll see if it comes out. That's the third. I didn't want that body to be that built up that big, but we're gonna try it. We are gonna give it a go. We're gonna put this in here. What we're gonna do. Here, let's twist. Let's just do this. Wait. That's what's nice about the newer ones, though. I guess is that part of it is I mean, I guess I could just tie them in, but this will be better. Getting all of these in here is going to be kind of difficult because obviously you can see they don't want to stay. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to do this. They don't want to stay. I can already see they don't want to cooperate with me. You know, when you try to do something cool, neat, new, or something different you haven't tried, something that's usually what happens. And I could just tie them in, but it's just not going to work. Just trying to tie these in isn't going to work. For how I made this thing, it's just not going to work. I don't think. I don't have a, what do you call it, the hair stacker. So I have to do this all by my hands. So it's going to be really difficult. 25 minutes in. We're fighting feathers now. Now we're boxing with the feathers. Okay. So let's get this out of the way. Put this right there. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do this here. Get some of that thread up there. We're gonna stick this in there. And I've never tried to spin this stuff before, so this is gonna be interesting if it'll. If it's gonna allow me to. Keep getting it tighter. Now we're gonna try to spread it out. Interesting if it's gonna let me spin this or not. Get this out of my way. Be interesting if it'll let me spin it or not. I'm just curious. If not, we'll be trying something else. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna let me spin these like I want. Nope. It's just, yep, it's not gonna let me. All right, well, new idea. I was hoping it would work with this, but it did not. So we're gonna do it. Oh, child. And I don't have one of those feathers. Oh man. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. You know, you try to experiment. This is kind of an experiment anyway. So let it undo itself. But as you can see, it's working pretty good. This thing I made. So this is just like I just wanted to see if I could do it with this. So I can't. I have to do something different now. Come up with a different way to do this. So here's the other way to do this. So this will be fun. So we'll have to do it this way. So this is gonna be a little bit of a challenge. The scissors. Move it over. So let's see. And this is what I was worried about. Some of them coming out. I'll try to do this. Let's see which ones came out. Okay, that one came out. This one did not. Still trying to come out of there. I'm just gonna let them all fall out until I get it right like I want it. What's that? kind of came out all right. This side. Trying to rescue these ones that came out so I can put them in. Need a few. Here, we're gonna just have to pull more of them. Okay, not quite like I wanted it to come out. The body came out really good, but it's not bad. Not bad. Some little stuff sticking out here. So we can trim it a little bit. Clean it up a little bit. I haven't tied one of these in mid either. Mm, definitely will tie another one of these to see how it comes out. Not too bad though. I don't like the way the size of the head that I made on this. Really. But it did come out kind of like I wanted it, but not really. I wish the head would have been smaller. Now I know. Next time I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna tie this again, now I know. So it's all right. It came out all right. All right. Could have been better, but hey, it's tying, right? We're tying up. You guys get to see me do some things, see some stuff on YouTube. Yeah, it's just a little experiment to see if I could do that way. I think I could have done it if I used a rabbit or something else. It would have been in my. Then it would have. What I was trying to do would have worked. Yeah, that would have looked better, like rabbit or something. The what I was trying to do with the when I was trying to spin it, I was like, yeah, you can't really do that with that. But I was like, I want to try and see. Oops, I wanted to try and see if I could, and I couldn't. So it's okay though. Yeah, I put a ton of thinner on that because it's moving around that thread. And, it's got that piece of, it's got that. I want to make sure the eye hole's clear, and it is. But this is basically this is a basically um, if anybody knows what these are called, this is a basically a Carey Special. And I'm gonna move to manipulate the feathers a little bit. So yeah, because I should have done it different with a different type of feather. But what I actually did was use the pheasant's tail instead, and tried to use the softer part of it to make it. But that's a Carey Special. This one is a Peacock Carey Special though, and I decided to add Flashaboo into it to give it some flair, and that's kind of why I did the thinner like that on it. Just recent, did you saw me doing the thinner because I was like, I kind of want these hairs to stand up, and then when I start fishing it, it's gonna sweep back. I don't want them totally swept back. I want it to kind of almost like a partridge. Yeah, because I didn't have the right. Um, that makes sense. I didn't have the right piece of the pheasant for this one. So I made this pheasant work like I wanted it to get the effect that I wanted to do. Basically, if that makes any sense. To give it the effect I wanted it to have. Just like that feather would, the right type of feather for it would do. And put this on top of the thinner. There we go. So that's a Peacock Carey Special. I spent a little bit more time on it. I spent 40 minutes on that. Just really taking care of this fly. Even didn't quite come out like I wanted, but it looks good. And it's fishy and it'll catch. Next time, I'm gonna tie another one. I'm gonna make it a little bit. It's got a little weight to it. I added a copper in it. Some Peacock on the body. Gold wire. Yeah, that's a Carey Special. Peacock, a Carey Special Peacock, basically. And so, very trouty. You can put that behind a boat and troll it. You can cast it and drift it. You could put that behind a little mini flasher. Um, some of those little small mini flashers even and see what you get with that. And tip it with a worm. I'm pretty sure cutthroat rainbows will go nuts over it around here in Washington. Let me get my dryer real quick. I'm gonna dry this a little bit more so we can see if we can get a better picture of this thing. Camera doesn't always cooperate, but you basically saw what I was doing. Yeah, because I want those hairs to stand up a little bit. So that's why I put the thinner like I did. So I did a little manipulation with the thinner, basically. So when that thinner kind of dries, those feathers of the pheasant will kind of stand up. A little extra work to do that, but you know, the outcome will be better than you think. But just for one fly, it's kind of funny. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I used UV, it'd be a little different than something like this. A little quicker and easier. But that thinner needs to get in those feathers. I needed that thinner to really get into those feathers. And most of the time, you don't want that to happen. When I make my salmon stuff, you don't want that to happen. And like when you do sometimes you don't want it to happen on some of the types of feathers like marabou because it kind of messes up the feathers. But they still fish because I fished them and they were messed up a little bit like that, and it still didn't affect it that much. Fish were still biting that thing. So let's see if we can get a better picture of what this fly looks like now. Almost got it. So there it is. That's a Carey Special. If you look at it, let's see if we can. Yeah, you can see it pretty good now. Some little hairs trying to land on the vise, but you can see it really good now. Spent some time working on that one. Make sure it came out. A little hair blew in there in the air. It's the only thing about this. A little hairs start floating in there and then land on your pretty made thing. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to use that new little thing I made, but oh well, it don't always work like that. And the whole eye looks clear. Let's see if we can make sure you can put a piece of fishing line or something through just to check it. This is like 20 pounds, so if that can go through there, a little 6-pound line easily will go through that whole eye hole. But That's the Carey Special. Pick that little piece of glue off there. There you go. Carey Special. Um, Peacock. And it's actually got, you can see in there, you can see it's got, I decided to add a little bit of Flashaboo to it. So it's really got a lot going on in there now rather than just the Peacock Hurl wrapped. It's got a little bit of Flashaboo wrapped in there too. I just wanted to add a little bit more translucent attraction to it, and I've been kind of doing that. You saw me do that with the midge, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that on a Carey Special, and then add a little copper bar inside. There's a copper bar inside of it to give it weight. That's what made it so it was hard to do the eye. That's why the eye is kind of bigger than I want it to be. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, actually, that's a really small looking fly. It's a really small looking fly, actually. So that's not as big as it appears. That's only a size. That's a size 6. Or wait, no, it's a size. It's a size 12 but it's on a streamer hook. It's not even actually a wet fly hook, and this is technically a wet fly. But I put it on a streamer hook because I wanted it to have like a longer profile, because you can see, and that's why and then you see what I did, and that's why I did the glue, the thinner like I did, because now look, see, now it's wants to stand up like that. Some of that glue got in there, but this is got a brown color to it, and I wanted that to stand up like that, and if you can see, so I kind of like, because I couldn't get the feather to the right kind of feather that was for it. I couldn't get the right kind of feather of the pheasant to do this, basically. I basically manipulated the type of pheasant feather I had, the pheasant I had, to get it to do the effect that I wanted it to do. So these would stand up, and then they'll move in the water like I want it to. Pretty neat, right? Pretty cool stuff, fun stuff. A little extra work. Could have done it another way, the other way, more proper way, and it would be faster, easier. But I'm getting the same effect. I just had to work a little bit more with this fly. So we're at the 48-minute mark with it, and it's done. And I'm just trying to keep these hairs that are blowing around from landing on it because it's drying. But there you go. That's a Carey Special Peacock with a Flashaboo accent basically added to it. Gold wire ribbing to hold it all down. Spun. Decided to wrap and strengthen the Peacock curl before I wrapped it, so it will hold a little bit better, and then wrap it down even more just to make sure it holds. And it looks pretty darn good and got a lot of flash to it. You can see that Flashaboo in there. And yeah, there you go. It's a nice little, cool little wet fly streamer, basically. You could take this, and you could add like a dubbing in that little pocket right there. You can add like a yellow dubbing, a brown dubbing, just a little bit. A little extra work, add another element, and then you got a little spot right there. It's like a little yellow spot or a little orange spot you could have in there. And I thought about doing that. And then I also was thinking about taking it and then wrapping it with and so then it would flow back underneath, or it being the actual, instead of putting this, that would actually be it. That would be its like collar neck would be actually made of like a type of dubbing. And they have stuff you can buy already like that, but I was like, oh, you can make it like that too. You can make it yourself. Could even have been marabou. That could have been wrapped marabou over it too, and then over this, and it would look really cool looking. And it kind of like the spay, like a palmered marabou. You can do that too, and just take the pheasant out. But this is technically a Carey Special. So, like I said, whatever your imagination can. So I made that. You can make all that other stuff I just talked about, like and play around with it, and you got something really fishy. And I'm sure panfish will probably bite this too. I mean, you know how they like buggy looking things and flickering looking things. Shoot, I might tie one of these and just like something similar, and I'll just put it on the jig head. You know, that might look pretty nice on a if I put it on an orange jig head and tie that basically onto that jig onto a jig head with that that'll be deadly probably for crappie or something. Maybe shorten these up a little bit. I mean, there's stuff like that already, but with that flash in there tied with that detail in there, that's probably going to be crazy on crappie and panfish. So I might actually do that at some point and make one and see how it comes out. You know, creations, and that'll be fun to give it a try. Might even that probably catch trout too, and that'll be like a weighted, you know, something you can weight under a bobber and twitch it under the bobber and catch crappie or perch or trout or whatever. You can tip it with a worm. I mean, I would take this and tip it with a worm and troll it behind a boat, even off a flasher or something. I'm pretty sure you'd catch quite a bit of fish with that. That used to be like one of the big things for cutthroats. We take to just get a fly and then troll the fly behind the boat and tip it with something, and then hope and tip it with a little worm or something, and hope cutthroat would see it. Besides fishing little spoons, needlefish spoons and stuff for them. Carey Special was one of the ones you could put behind that boat, and that fly off that flat, a little mini flasher. And then I got all these kokanee flashers and stuff now. Like this thing works pretty dang good. There's different versions of it too, and the other version is made of chenille, but I like this one because it's got a lot of flash to it, and it just fish can see that from a ways off. So I really like that about it. I'm like I said, I'm a big fan of the peacock feathers for making like the bodies and of the lures and stuff. The way because of the light hitting it, and then I added flashaboo, so it's really got a little something to it. But all right, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. We had some little hiccups in there, but it's more of I was kind of experimenting with adding something to it that this pattern doesn't have call for flashaboo or anything like that. It just calls for a gold wire, and it doesn't call for you necessarily to wrap the body of the peacock herl onto the thread like that, but I wanted to make it more tougher so it won't come loose. Stand up to the fish a little bit better. Little teeth on those fish a little better. If it really starts catching something. Probably gonna make a few more. But anyways, hope you enjoyed watching me tie this. And like, subscribe, and I hope y'all having a good day today. And yeah, cool. I'm out. Peace.